Hello, my friends. Tim Beachum here. Today, we're going to talk about choosing the right Adsense theme for your blog. This can make or break your success. This is an important part. It helps increase your click-through ratio. Also, as I was making this presentation, a friend of mine who you started out as being a student of mine called me just to check and see how I was doing and see what I was up to. And he was telling me a little bit of facts about his business and where he's at today. So I threw a little bit of information about that in here too. So let's dive right in and get started. You see, I talk to people from around the world who have been trying to make money with AdSense for years. Most of them kind of look like this guy right here. You know, they've been trying and not being successful. In fact, I just talked to a guy who signed up for Anatomy of Money Making who told me that he has 300 and some sites and he makes $500 to $700 a month. That is ridiculous. I have sites that one AdSense site does that. So we talked for a while, and I told him that I was going to help him get everything on track and start finally making the money that he deserves to make. Now, the problem that I noticed that most people I talk to, they're confused on whether to use static pages or to use WordPress blogs. So I want to clear that up. Let's talk about static pages and some of the pros of using a static page. The good thing about it, which used to be exact placing of AdSense ads. It has less messy coding, which allows search engine robots to easily index the page. And a few of the cons is it's extremely difficult to make site-wide updates. So if you have several pages on your site, it's kind of hard to make updates to each and every page. Let's say I want to experiment and try AdSense, like instead of the left side, the right side of the page. I would have to go page by page by page by page using a static page in order to make those changes. That's not good when you're trying to run an online business because you should constantly be testing and tracking your results. When the good thing about it is another con is adding content can be timely. Usually you create a template, you save that template aside to a directory or something, and every time you want to add content, you will copy your content and paste it into that template and then start formatting your template. Let's talk about blog pages. The pros of blogs is you can have multi-themes that you can change on the fly. I mean, you can I had one script to test out something to see my conversion ratio on one site that would rotate themes daily to let me know which theme had a higher conversion ratio. Excuse me. And a blog is easy to update. Even if you weren't tech savvy or anything, anybody can update a blog. And you can easily make site-wide changes, which is one of my favorite things since I like testing all the time. And with a blog, you have many plugins that will aid you in making your site go viral. You know, things such as automatic RSS submissions, pinging, submitting to Facebook, Twitter, and other social bookmarking sites. It's really very easy to set up, which we'll learn about that later in this course. Now let's talk about a few of the cons. With blogs, you have sloppy coding, which makes it difficult for search engines to properly index your pages. You cannot specifically place ads unless you know how to go in and tweak the code. Or you can write a little bit of PHP, which you can write a PHP include, which will allow you to change your ads on the fly. But for the most part, the average person doesn't know all that stuff, and it'll be extremely difficult for them to learn if they have no type of programming background. It's more difficult to install as compared to a static page. Now, a blog does take, as you can see, you should know this by now. We've already covered this. You have to set up your MySQL database. And if you're not knowledgeable about installing a blog for the first time, it can be kind of scary, you know, doing some of those things because you're unaware, you're afraid you'll mess up something, you might click the wrong thing. So blogs do have their cons, but it's well worth it. The ends does justify the means. The majority of industry experts will tell you that it is difficult to achieve a decent click-through ratio using a blog. Well, they're right. It is. Although maintaining a blog is way easier than maintaining a static site, I finally found a blog theme that skyrocketed my click-through ratio and allows me to easily incorporate AdSense based on Google's heat map. Now, in this video series, I am going to share with you the exact theme that I use to increase my click-through ratio. The best part is it's free and allows you to easily place your AdSense according to Google's heat map. And if you look at the picture over to the right, that is Google's heat map based on their search engine. Now, the heat map changes a little bit on different blog themes and formats. For the most part, going across the top is where the majority of your clicks will go through, and your ad mixing your content to the left. Those will be your two hot spots right there. But we'll talk more about that when we actually get to implementing AdSense into this theme that I'm going to tell you about. I want to talk real quick about my friend named Jason's business model. He called as I was putting this together, and we talked for about 2 hours on the phone. It's amazing what he's done. I remember when Jason first came to me. In fact, I was standing in a store, a little neighborhood store, and he said, "Dude, I know you from somewhere. I just can't think of where." And, we talked for a little bit, and he says, "Oh, man, I seen you on YouTube. You're the dude that's always talking about making money on the internet." He said, "I want you to tell me, man, is that, a bunch of bull? Is that a scam, or are you really making money on the internet?" So, that's when the first 3GS, the iPhone 3GS came out, and I logged on. I pulled up my PayPal account. And I said, well, this my PayPal account. This is kind of like my Play account. And I showed him that, I had like almost $250,000 in that account. And he couldn't believe it. I said, I'm not showing you that to impress you, but to impress upon you. If somebody like me can do this, then anybody can do it. Now, for the record, before somebody hits me in the head and tries to make me go take money out of my PayPal account, it's not like I just ran a launch and I just happened to have $250,000 at that time. It was just perfect timing. I don't always walk around with $250,000 in my PayPal account. One of the things that Jason wanted to learn was how to do it, and believe it or not, the first 6 months to a year or so, he goofed off and he didn't take it serious, and he's a younger guy and he was just enjoying life, hanging out with friends and partying and all that kind of stuff. So finally, due to job circumstances, Jason was put in a situation where it was do or die on the internet. So he started to take it serious, and this is his business model that he shared with me today, and gave me some figures and so I can share with you and let you know what the possibilities are. On his business model, he starts off with keyword research. I think you heard that someplace before. Some awesome guy, namely me, told you keyword research is where you start. He installs his WordPress blog after identifying the hot keywords, the money-making keywords, and the traffic keywords. He adds AdSense-friendly theme. He automates the content, optimize the target content. Now, that's the content where you take your traffic keywords and you start generating articles and submitting to directories, etc., etc. We'll talk more about that in the traffic section of this course. Then he starts the traffic generation techniques, which is, submitting to backlinks to social bookmarking sites, social networks. What else is there? Right off my head, I can't think of a lot of things. But he doesn't use any pay-per-click or anything like that. He uses mostly organic traffic. And then he starts the link building process using his anchor text from the different keyword traffic phrases. He turns on the AdSense after the site hits about 100 or so unique visitors a day. He doesn't turn on the AdSense on the site until it hits that. He starts his list building. He just simply puts a box over on the right-hand side someplace, saying, "Hey, join my newsletter," which the newsletter is nothing more than an RSS feed that he has automated to set up to send out. So he starts building up a list. And with that list, he has something that he can sell to the list. Like he'll go to ClickBank or what other affiliate program, depending on the niche market, and he will sell to that list over and over and over again. Now, he told me a few figures on that, but he said just on like one of his niche market sites, on a consistent basis, he generates somewhere around 20 to 30 extra $1,000 a year. Now, it feels kind of good when you're in a conversation with your buddy and you're talking about what extra money you make a year, and it's kind of strange when you turn on the news, which I try not to watch at all, and you're always hearing things about the economy's down, this is down, that is down. My business has been consistent. Now, of course, there's dips, there's low points and high points in the business, but it's always good. I know that at any time I can create a product and I can sell that product for $97 and within a week or so make $40,000, $50,000 on a bad launch. Well, I don't really do launches, so I don't even want to use that word launch. Okay, now, once Jason gets his blog up and running, his goal is to start generating $1 USD a day from each one of the niche blogs. Now, Jason currently owns a little over 300. I mean, that 300 should be 200. He has another 100, but he hasn't monetized them yet, so I'm sorry about that error there. He has 200 blogs times $1 a day is $200 a day. $200 times 30 equals $6,000 a month. These are cash cows. Now, this is the part that's going to shock you. It sounds complicated and time consuming, but Jason only spends 3 to 4 hours a day on his VRE business. It's incredible. Since then, Jason has expanded out to CPA offers, and for those of you who may not know that, that's cost per action offers, which allows him to generate an additional $100 a day. That's $3,000 a month, all on autopilot. He already had the list from his Adsense sites. That allowed him to start building additional revenue instantly. The same day he was approved for the CPA network, he was able to send out a mailing and drive instant traffic to his site. It's awesome. I'm sharing this with you in hopes that it motivates you to also follow the same path. That's my goal. That's what I hope you do. If you follow the directions that I give you, you will make money. The mistake that a lot of people make, like I do have VRE sites that, I spent a lot of time with. They were kind of my babies, and they're up to, like on a bad month, maybe $600-$700. On a good month, a couple of $1,000s. But for the most part, if you follow the dollar a day system per domain name, you will be successful. There's no going back from it. Now, think about this. I don't care whether you went to Harvard, Yale, you were a high school dropout, business economics is the same. Now, I'm going to go with a little bit higher end on the cost. Now, what business can you get where you can purchase a domain for $10 a month, a year, and then hosting for $5 a month on average? And you have about $60-$70 a year invested. Now, at that rate, after After about 2 months or a month and a half, after 2.5 months, you're already profitable. By any business law, you're already profitable. Now, just imagine being able to repeat this over and over again. And my principle, which I still stick to, if I'm able to make $1, I can make $1,000. It's not a big deal. And the key to it is being able to outsource things. You have to learn to do that. At first, you can start out doing everything yourself. I understand for a lot of people, money is tight. Believe me, like I said, when I first started out, it was hand to mouth. I could barely afford the domains. And back then, domains were going for like $20, $30 a domain. When I first started online business, wasn't with Adsense then, but I used to create and sell products and affiliate marketing. You will need to reinvest a portion of your profits back into your business if you want to be successful. There is no way that you will be able to continue to do everything yourself once you hit 10 or 15 sites. I have another student. I don't want to be like most people and just tell you like all the success stories and make Tim sound good. I have another student that we don't talk as much, but we're still pretty good friends. He told me that he only wanted to make a couple $100s a day. I said, okay, fine. So I showed him a couple $100s a month. I'm sorry. Showed him how to do it. But since then, he has not expanded. Maybe for him, that's his goal and that's what he wants to do. So just remember, if you follow the system, you will make money. There's no way that you can't make money. This is like you telling me 1 + 1 does not equal 2. That's crazy. That's absurd. I will cover all of that later in this course, but for now, let me show you where to get one of the best themes for AdSense that I have ever seen. This theme is solely responsible for increasing my revenue by at least 34%. Now, with that said and done, I want you to go ahead and let's move on to the next video and get started installing Look, I put you theme. That should be your theme. Again, I apologize. I tried to put this together quick because I've been sick and I haven't been putting out the videos the way that I should have. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. You take care.